Hey guys, what's up? It's Dusty here, back with another crypto video, and today we got some breaking news on Ripple and XRP as the Federal Reserve has spoken out on a couple of things. Now, I need to let you guys know that on one of our previous videos, we hit the requirement for our giveaway, so next video, there will be a $50 giveaway live within the video. But also for this video, make sure you press the like button, comment something down below, and have the notification bell on, because if we can hit 500 likes on this video within 24 hours, we are again giving away $50 worth of crypto. So that is all that you need to do. Make sure you go ahead and do it right now. We need to get into this. So first off, you need a little bit of back knowledge because this story is great, but you got to be prepared for what you're about to see. So if we go back a couple of years, there's a couple of articles from Ripple. Federal Reserve Task Force, Ripple improves speed and transparency of global payments. This is an article from about 2 years ago, and it is quite interesting. It says, today, after 2 years of work, the Federal Reserve released its Faster Payments Task Force's action plan for bringing faster payments to the United States, highlighting Ripple's ability to underpin the next generation of cross-border payments. Let's quickly open this up. I've never seen that before, actually. Here's the call to action, United States, yada, yada, yada. The U.S. path to faster payments, everything about it seems quite interesting. And actually, we have watched that video before. A lot has been going on, right? A lot of info about it on this website, but let's keep continuing on. Hiding Ripple's ability to underpin the next generation of cross-border payments. Set up in 2015 after the feds recognized the need to spur improvements in payments, the task force brought together a diverse group of 320 stakeholders to create a roadmap for modernizing the U.S. payments infrastructure. Fed Faster Payments Task Force gives Ripple vote of confidence for next generation of global payments. Ripple played a leading role in establishing this future vision of payments. Early in the process, I was elected to serve on the steering committee to represent tech companies and provide expertise on emerging technology and blockchain. One of Task Force's first achievements was to establish a set of effective criteria for faster payments, and this served as a long-term target for new solutions, defining the capabilities needed to meet the market demands of 2020 and beyond. And this framework included 36 criteria grouped into 6 categories: speed, efficiency, safety, security, legal, governance, and ubiquity. With over 100 detailed benchmarks for each, true to being a future vision, no existing solution meets all the criteria. Next, the task force requested proposal for ways to fulfill the criteria, each of which being assessed by McKinsey. Ripple stands out for speed and transparency of payments. Now, the task force received 22 proposals, 16 of which completed the process, including Ripple. Ripple put forth the Interledger-based solution that enables improved messaging and tracking for real-time payments, standing out as the only proposal focused on solving today's friction with cross-border payments. The McKinsey assessment gave high marks to Ripple, noting, and again, after this we're going to go over to the video, Ripple enables financial institutions the ability to operate cross-border payments faster than 2 to 4 days common today. The solution bolsters the certainty of cross-border payments experience by providing end-to-end transaction visibility to banks, as well as settlement confirmation. And Ripple enables more transparency in the total cost of a payment to the payee prior to authorization, if participating banks are willing to provide this transparency. And again, being flexible enough to be integrated directly into financial institutions' payment hub, or integrated into a third-party provider's platform to which FIs are already connected, shows the solution is well designed for different use cases across a range of financial institutions within the US. And again, there's a lot more info on here, but you guys have got an idea of how good it really sounds. Now, let's quickly check out the video, and it is quite a tall one, or quite a long one, but it is definitely interesting. So here, again, in Kansas right now is the speech. Let's quickly read. Governor Lyle Brainard is giving a speech on how the Federal Reserve in the payment system. Gotta give you guys a straight up though, it's very vague, alright? She says a lot of really important stuff, but she's being quite vague about everything. She's not really giving those names clearly, and it's something that is to be admired in the sense that she needs to do this, so we should respect it, and she does it in a very good way. On the contrary, it does sound a lot like Ripple, does sound a lot like it, and the possibility is definitely there, so make sure you watch it for a good part here as I'm going to show it to you guys, and make up your own opinion.
It's great.
I'll guide you guys through though. So hopefully, if she says something really crazy that you guys don't understand, comment it down below, and I might get back to it in another couple of days. I'm most likely just gonna let you guys see a good chunk of it here, maybe like 20 minutes, and then either talk afterwards or just end the video. So If the end of the video is here because there's a lot of talking, but it's all important, then I'll do another video later today talking about it. Otherwise, we'll talk afterwards, or maybe we won't even watch the whole 20 minutes. We'll see, guys. You'll see the duration of the video.
To be here today with all of you in Kansas City, and to be here with Federal Reserve Bank President Esther George to talk about the future of America's payment system. Our payment system is a vital part of America's infrastructure that touches everyone. The choices we make about payments infrastructure today will affect all Americans many years into the future. So today I'm excited to announce the Federal Reserve will invest in a new service to help ensure that real-time payments are available to everyone. The Federal Reserve will develop the FedNow service, a real-time payment and settlement service for the future. Everyone deserves the same ability to make and receive payments immediately and securely, and every bank deserves the same opportunity to offer that service to its community. FedNow will permit banks of every size in every community across the country to provide real-time payments to their customers. Today, whether you are relying on ACH, a debit card, or a check, it can take a few days to get access to your funds. With a Federal Reserve real-time payments infrastructure, those funds would be available immediately, whether to pay utility bills or split the rent with roommates, or for small business owners to pay their suppliers. Immediate access to funds could be especially important for households with fixed incomes or living paycheck to paycheck, when waiting days for the funds to be available to pay a bill can mean overdraft fees or late fees that can compound. Similarly, getting immediate access to funds from a sale in order to pay for supplies can be a game changer for small businesses, potentially avoiding the need for costly short-term financing. Last November, we asked the public about possible actions the Federal Reserve could take to support interbank settlement for faster payments. We received more than 350 comments on a Federal Reserve faster payment service, representing nearly 800 organizations. Fully 90% of those comments called for the Federal Reserve to operate a real-time service for faster payments.
You guys hearing that? You guys hearing all of that, guys? It sounds so much like Ripple. Really, it is kind of interesting to me how some people might not be seeing this, but also just how crazy similar it sounds, even though she's not directly saying it.
Support came from a wide range of stakeholders, including individuals, merchants, fintech firms, and banks. Commenters focused on four broad sets of reasons. First, they noted that the Federal Reserve would ensure equitable access to banks of all sizes nationwide by operating a real-time service for faster payments alongside the single private sector system. Commenters highlighted the importance of safety in faster payments and noted the Federal Reserve's record of resiliency, especially during periods of stress. Commenters observed that a Federal Reserve real-time retail payment service would increase competition and decrease concentration and provide a neutral platform for innovation. This broad support echoes the conclusions of the Faster Payments Task Force, and similarly, the U.S. Treasury recommended that the Federal Reserve move quickly to facilitate a faster retail payment system, such as through the development of a real-time settlement service, citing efficiency, accessibility, and innovation. In determining the path forward, we're building on the Federal Reserve's long history of operating payment systems as a core part of the nation's payment infrastructure. Since the Federal Reserve banks opened for business around the country in 1914, as directed by Congress, they have provided payment and settlement services in healthy competition with private sector providers. When you look across the current payment infrastructure, whether in check processing, automated clearinghouse, ACH services, or funds transfers, you will see a Federal Reserve Service operating alongside private sector providers. Indeed, the GAO has assessed the Federal Reserve's provision of payment services and concluded it has benefited U.S. payment system and its users. The Federal Reserve does not have regulatory authority over the pricing set by a private sector system, or to require a private sector system to extend the service to banks of all sizes, particularly to that last mile. In some other countries, central banks have been assigned the responsibility for regulating payment systems. However, this is not the approach that Congress has taken. Instead, the Federal Reserve's role as an operator has long been the preferred approach to promote accessible, safe, and efficient payments in the United States. Through the FedNow service, we will provide a foundation for the future, a modern payments infrastructure that allows innovation and competition to flourish and delivers faster payments safely and securely for all. To ensure fast payments are available to everyone, FedNow will be accessible to all banks, no matter their size. Given our long-standing service connections with more than 10,000 banks across the country, the Federal Reserve is uniquely placed to deliver this outcome. The bar is high when we assess whether the Federal Reserve should provide a new payment and settlement service, as it should be. We have carefully analyzed the criteria of the Monetary Control Act and long-standing Federal Reserve policies, considered the comments provided by the wide range of stakeholders, and studied the experience of foreign central banks. We are not making this decision lightly. On balance, after carefully weighing the important considerations on both sides, we have concluded it is our responsibility to take action in support of a real-time payments infrastructure accessible to all. While we will work hard to stand up the FedNow service in a timely manner, our most important goal is to achieve nationwide access, reflecting our public mission. A key foundation of the payment infrastructure is interbank settlement and clearing, the movement of funds and the associated information between banks. Today, the U.S. retail payment infrastructure lags behind countries such as Europe, Mexico, and Australia that have already implemented real-time interbank clearing and settlement. In contrast, here in the U.S., the gap between the transaction capabilities of the digital economy and the underlying payment and settlement capabilities continues to grow. Early adopters of fast payment services have had to rely on a legacy infrastructure designed for a different era. Some services that offer real-time funds availability to certain consumers do so by conducting interbank settlement on a deferred basis, which entails a buildup of obligations like IOUs between banks that could present real risks in times of stress. These are not resilient long-term solutions for our dynamic economy and the banks that support it. We're seeing some companies looking to establish a payment system that bypasses our banks and our currency. Facebook's Libra project raises numerous concerns that will take some time to assess and address, but one thing is clear: consumers and businesses across the country want and expect real-time payments, and the banks they trust should be able to provide this service securely, whatever their size. To provide everyone with the ability to send and receive funds securely on a 24/7/365 basis, banks are going to need to embrace and invest in real-time innovations, and the Federal Reserve will need to provide a safe and efficient real-time interbank clearing and settlement service. We're proud of our strong record of cooperating with and supporting private sector services while fostering competition for public benefit. We have provided vital support to the sole private sector provider of real-time settlement for faster payments, and we will continue to do so. The Federal Reserve provided a joint account which enables the private sector operator to offer real-time payments. Moreover, today we're announcing our intent to explore the expansion of Fedwire Fund Service and National Settlement Service operating hours to support the efficiency of the joint account structure for the private sector RTGS service and to provide broader benefits. That said, the joint account structure, with its requirement of pre-funding and its settlement on a private ledger, is fundamentally different from the approach the Federal Reserve will use, which will enable transactions to settle directly between banks. We're pleased that the private sector faster payment service is in the market, and we see important benefits from the resilient and competitive market that would result from the FedNow service providing an alternative consistent with the requirements of the Monetary Control Act. The requirement to consider the best way to make our payment and settlement services accessible to banks across the country, along with long-standing principles including cost recovery over the long run, guides our assessment of when the Federal Reserve should engage in the payment system.
Should I have my microphone off the whole time? Aha, now I get why. I was like, why are these things not... okay, that explains a lot. I would say this is actually really important as well for the whole situation. Like, all right, we're talking about exactly what they're going to do and why they've chosen it, how exactly they came to the choice, how they want to fix the whole world, yada, yada, yada. She has a whole very good story about that. But the question, a very good one, is when, right? And she explains, again, the situation right there. I like it.
I want to share with you some of the analysis that we considered in making today's decision through the prism of our public policy goals of accessibility, safety, and efficiency. Accessibility means serving more than 10,000 banks of varying sizes.
And again, also quite important to know is that this correlates with what we just read here. Again, of course, what they're looking for. So the Federal Reserve, what they're looking for into all of these systems. And also where Ripple, of course, shines and in what they do. It all is in here, and you just have to correlate them together. It's all not that important because we already have gotten major signs all over from just it being like almost the same thing. But I thought it was just kind of interesting to see that as well. It's another 6 more minutes, so hopefully you guys are not too tired yet. I know it's a lot of information to cover and to listen to, but if you're not enjoying it whatsoever, you can just scroll through to the end, and I might give you guys some extra info then.
That are in communities all around the country. It turns out no single private sector provider of any U.S. payment system has ever achieved nationwide reach on its own, whether it be checks, ACH, cards, or wire transfers. Acting alone, a single private sector RTGS service will face significant challenges in establishing an accessible infrastructure with nationwide reach. In contrast, because of our experience providing other services, the Federal Reserve already has invested in connections and customer service relationships with nearly every bank, small and large, across the country. With our 12 regional reserve banks, we have the capacity to meet the needs of banks serving different communities and with different needs and operating models. For that reason, commenters stated that the Federal Reserve is uniquely positioned to offer nationwide access to a new payment and settlement service for faster payments. FedNow will allow faster payments to reach banks of all sizes and their customers across the country, which is especially important for rural communities who often struggle with access to financial services. Guided by our public mission, the Federal Reserve serves the need of all banks, no matter how small or challenging to reach, and with competitive fairness. In response to our request for feedback last November, several commenters emphasized how much they value the Federal Reserve's mission of providing nationwide access on fair, transparent terms, and expressed concern that a sole private sector service provider may be less likely to exhibit the same commitment over the longer run. Safety is also vital. If the Federal Reserve does not stand up a service, there will be a single provider of real-time retail payment services. We are mindful of the serious safety issues associated with a single point of failure, a risk that will rise as faster payments grow. Stakeholders have noted the importance of having access to more than one real-time payment service for backup purposes.
And that is, again, kind of strange how she's explaining that, like they want some backups and they don't trust it the way. But I mean, This is a pretty big operation, so backup is also not the craziest thing in the world.
in order to provide resiliency through redundancy. In fact, many banks already take advantage of having connections to multiple operators today in check, ACH, and wire. The Federal Reserve has always had a vital role in promoting the safety and stability of the U.S. payment system by providing liquidity and operational continuity, especially in times of stress. The FedNow service would allow the Federal Reserve to extend this role into the real-time retail payment market. Finally, the U.S. real-time retail payments infrastructure stands to gain from competition, including through higher service quality over the long run, which in turn should support wider adoption. The FedNow service will provide a neutral foundation for innovation and competition in end-user faster payment services. In response to the request for feedback, merchants and fintech companies commented that a Federal Reserve real-time retail payment service could broaden the scope for innovation. They note that a single provider that is owned and operated by one segment of the payment industry may focus on a narrower set of use cases that don't reflect the full breadth of possible use cases for faster payments. In contrast, the addition of the FedNow service could provide a springboard for broader private sector participation in developing innovative end-user services. With the announcement of the Federal Reserve Real-Time Payment Service, we're embracing a path that will bring transformative rather than incremental change to our retail payment infrastructure. The FedNow service will operate continuously at all times of the day, every day of the week, consistent with the needs of faster payments, and will be designed to process large volumes of payments rapidly. In the months ahead,
Oh, rapidly? Oh, maybe that's a hint. No. Okay, it was just a joke, but really, rapidly? She says, like, let's go a couple of seconds back.
to process large volumes of payments rapidly.
It was kind of interesting how she said it right there. And again, I'm no Sam, I'm no big analyst in that sense. I'm not going to go and decode all of these messages to see the underlying stuff, but it was just kind of interesting how she says it.
To process large volumes of payments rapidly. In the months ahead, we intend to explore a variety of approaches to achieving a real-time retail payments infrastructure with nationwide reach. One such approach might be for different payment services to interoperate by exchanging payments among the services directly. Such interoperability is an important goal that we will pursue as standards, technology, and industry practices change over time, although it is not yet clear whether it will be an initial feature. The Federal Reserve plans to devote the necessary resources to deliver the highest quality FedNow service in a timely manner. We're working to streamline our internal processes to move quickly in the market. President George will play an integral role in this new process, and the Conference of Reserve Bank Presidents has pledged its support. It's important for the Federal Reserve, working with the payments industry, to act quickly in finalizing the initial business requirements. We will need to hear the views of payment system stakeholders on the features of the FedNow service as we discuss in our Federal Register notice. We will engage with the industry through groups and forums to finalize the design and features of the service. These conversations will provide an opportunity for all stakeholders to work together to shape the evolution of our payment system. Let me just conclude by noting that the best part of my job is getting to travel to communities all over the country with people from our reserve banks. Earlier this month, I joined my Reserve Bank colleagues for a visit with bankers and community organizations in Scranton, Pennsylvania, to hear about the biggest challenges they are facing. The head of a bank that's been serving the Scranton area for more than a century told me that for his community bank to remain competitive in its payments offerings, it is vital to be able to rely on the Federal Reserve for real-time payments, just as he does for check, ACH, and wire transfer. I appreciate the importance of community banks to the economic health of our communities, and I recognize the role of the Federal Reserve in enabling community banks to offer payment services on a competitive basis. I'm confident that by working together with all of the stakeholders across our payment system, we can collectively achieve accessible, safe, and efficient, faster payments for all.
All right, that was her whole speech. Whew, you guys sat through the whole 20 minutes or something of her just talking and talking and talking, but really, the value that she gave here was just insane. So I don't normally give you guys a whole full video like this. I normally try to comprise it myself by giving you guys a little quick update, but the severity of the situation here, this might be life-changing, so you really have to watch it from the source if you want to get the whole story straight. Again, there's no bending this from any side. Really, directly, what she says here sounds like some huge stuff, in my opinion. And again, if I'm mistaken, if I'm totally wrong and dumb about it, you let me know, right? But to me, in my opinion, in my eyes, this sounds really a lot like Ripple. And even if it's not directly there, we still have a lot of opportunities, a lot of chances that there's still a connection that we have not seen yet, as she is really being quite descriptive over what she wants, what she has, what is coming, yet also being very vague in what it really still is. And that's really quite interesting to the situation where we know, yet we don't know, and I like a lot. I like it. It's just really a fun situation. Now, guys, do you actually want me to live stream more often? Because I'm debating of doing a live stream once every day, just to, do 2 crypto videos, maybe 3, and then 1 live stream, every single day, just to connect with a lot of you guys and to talk about the situations like this. As I see Alex Cobb, who was actually already not live anymore, this was like an hour ago or something, when I first watched this whole freaking 40-minute video or whatever, or 50-minute, she goes on to talk more backwards and forwards, but that's not as important as what she just, what the speech was about. This is just a little bit of a discussion going back and forward, but you can watch it yourself if you really want to. This was some core stuff that you needed. But I'm wondering if you guys would like some more live streams because I'm not doing them too often. Also, guys, make sure you check out my second channel called Dusty Finance. I have a lot of very cool videos on here that I really would like you guys to check out. How to invest $500 a month, how to achieve financial freedom like the 1%, how to make passive income with $1,000 right now. Make sure you check these videos out as they can really change your life. There's no advertisements, no affiliate links, no nothing, so make sure you go ahead and check them. And I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. This stuff was so insane, but I actually have so much XRP articles, XRP news here left that I'm gonna have to do another video later today. I just don't want to make this video 45 minutes long, so we're gonna cut it here. We talked about the Federal Reserve. This might be coming up here. I'm completely bamboozled by the amount of info about the wow. Guys, I'm just completely amazed, but it's amazing. I'm excited. I'm really excited. We'll see you guys. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again in another crypto video. Bye bye.